So I've just arrived at Kells, the largest monastic complex in Ireland. It's actually surrounded by a large wall with towers dotting the corners. So one of the reasons it's so large is it's almost like a town in itself. Going through this entryway, you can see what I mean about the wall, the outer bailey if you like, the towers, and then there's the inner bailey with a large tower slash keep there that looks a bit more like a castle than an abbey, and then around to the abbey itself. So we're going to go through one layer of walls, the second layer of walls, to get into the abbey. It's got this really quaint little doorway there too. I'll have a little explore of that in a minute. You can see this wonderful building here. I don't know what it was, but maybe the abbot's residence. But essentially we've got this massive space that's all part of the abbey grounds. Crazy. And we haven't even got to the abbey yet, so that's behind the wall and we'll go there shortly. Okay, we've just entered the inner wall of the priory. You can see we're surrounded by walls. There's the outer wall which has come past. So here we have the priory proper, and obviously it's very well defended, and they've made another defensive tower adjacent to the church itself. So perhaps this was made into more of a castle situation later on. Some of the walls are falling over a little bit, but let's see what we can see when we get closer. This is actually a site that's just generally open to the public, so you don't even have to pay to come in, which implies that there's not much here to protect. There's certainly a lot of stone walls, stone castles, stone towers I should say. There's lots of them. So we've got this tower here, and part of the church. That would be the church tower there, or the church crossing tower. You can see the size of the transept. What I'm guessing is it was converted into a castle in its later life. There's another tower that's being restored. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towers outside, 6 towers inside, another small tower here. There's probably some more around the other side. So there's towers galore. So let's have a look into the parts of the monastery and see what we can see. And here are some foundations. And this looks like it would have been the chapter house with its beautiful arched doorways and windows. So I'm guessing we're looking towards the cloisters at the moment. So here we have the chapter house from outside, as it were, and you can see the benches where the important people would have sat for the chapter meetings. And next to that is usually where the sacristy was. So it looks like it's nothing much left there. And the other side of it, another building off the cloisters. So nothing much seems to remain of the cloisters except for a low wall. So let's just walk in there. And here's the church with the tower. So walk in through what was probably the sacristy. Not much left, unfortunately, or some other room. So you can see the low wall here denotes where the cloister was. Not much left, sadly. And then there are lots of the monastic buildings, and the side wall shows us the way into the church over there. And actually this was probably the sacristy, I think, because it's not actually a transept, is it? So we've just got a small doorway here which should lead into the church, and there we are. Okay, so this is, just trying to get my bearings. So there's no transept on the side we just came in on. This would have been the east end of the church, or the the chancel, where the stalls, etc., choir stalls would have been. Cistercians often had a wall between them and the lay people to keep them separate. So this would have been the nave. And turning around we can see a transept. And there's also a side aisle. Let's go down and have a look at the side aisle with a lovely, more rounded arch. Well, it's still a bit pointed, I guess. There should have been chapels down here, I guess. Now, interesting step work there. So this could have been some sort of chapel, possibly a sacristy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk into the chancel of the church. So massive arch here. This is the crossing. There would have been a big tower here. Now there's just a couple of sides of it. Could have been probably vaulting. But here we have the east end. You can see the niches where there would have probably been tombs. Something similar. And very little left, sadly. Here we have a doorway into a small vaulted room, which is possibly this was the sacristy. Looks like you can actually get in there from the other side, so we'll try that in a minute. Anyway, this is what's left of the church at Kells Abbey near Kilkenny, which is the largest monastic complex left in Ireland.